Important note, in order to read this book, you have to be 18 plus. The book contains very dark, triggering situations such as kidnapping, grooming, human trafficking, graphic violence, and other explicit abuse. So, the second book is significantly darker than the first one. Take this warning seriously because your mental health matters. I think if we're going to talk about this book, first of all, the first thing that you should bear in mind is that if you're sensitive, you shouldn't read this type of book. You shouldn't read this book in specific because this is the dark of dark romance. It's literally dark. And I think one thing that I learned and I understood deeply about dark romance, they're not conventional type of romance relationship. There's nothing conventional about that. Most of it, just I don't think therapy is enough to explain, and it's enough to heal you for the trauma that you can get from this type of book. So if you're really sensitive with any single thing that you think about, don't read this book because it's dark. Dark, 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 dark. Let's go to the book. So, this book, the first one, Haunting Adeline. It's about a girl, Adeline, and she's an author. She writes her books. It's not a dark type of book, but it's a little bit thriller type of book. She's she loves to feel fear at certain point. Um, Suddenly she has a stalker, and this stalker, when you get into his mind, he's he's sadistic. So in the Zade in Zade's mind, in Zade's mind, it's, oh, I see this girl, I like her, she's beautiful, whatever. I want her, and I want her to fall in love with me. But I don't want to lie to her. I don't want to pretend to her. So I'll show her my dark side, and she'll fall in love with me for that reason. Like, first I will show her my dark side, and then she falls in love with me, and like I can show to her my sweet side. The issue is that oh my gosh, he's crazy. He's not like he's convinced she'll fall in love with him. He's convinced like he's crazy. The only word that you can use to describe him is sadistic. There is an issue when it comes to Zaid. If I start saying bad things about him, I'm forced to say I have to say something that he does it and it's good. And the issue, like if I say the negative part first and then I say the negative, it sounds like I'm trying to justify the good things that he does. I'm not doing that. I read the book, I liked it. The author is one of my favorite authors because of the way she writes, the way, I read her first book, Does It Hurt? It doesn't have anything like it's similar with Haunting and Hunting Adeline, and I love the way she writes. But it doesn't mean that I support this type of relationship or this type of thing, and I don't want to justify what he did. But he did some good to the world, to that universe, and he has an organization that works with saving women that were kidnapped, uh, great, and mostly slaved. Like he works with sex trafficking, like works solving that issue. So his whole good point is mostly to that. But he's sadistic. He's it's not okay. And the thing is, he knows that, and that's the pissing part. He's not crazy to be like, oh, I don't know, I'm crazy. I think I'm normal. No, he knows he's crazy, and he's like, I'm crazy. It's okay. And then Adeline, the first book, Haunting Adeline, it follows him stalking her, and there are points where he forced that approach with her. But the thing is, this is, I think a therapist should explain this, not me, because she likes to be scared a little bit. She feels excited when she's scared. So the whole first book is about her excitement and fear at the same time. You know, like someone is stalking you, someone is watching you through the window, and you're scared because, oh my gosh, it's a lunatic person. But then she gets excited at some point. She gets excited to prove things to him, you know. And then it came to a part where we have spice scenes, spice involvement where he forced himself somehow to her. But then there's a point where it's like, it's not okay what he did, it's not okay what he's doing. But there are points where like she likes it. Though, so you kind of think, at what point is he's wrong, you know that, but there's a point that we can make it right because there's some point that she liked it. And then she would, after, let's say, their kiss and they, and then after that she feels ashamed because she liked it somehow. So it's like, I'm liking my stalker touching me some places and doing something to me, and it's not right because he's a stalker. So the whole thing makes you think about, oh my gosh, at what point again, it's not right, but at what point you would sound, I don't know, it would be okay. I don't know if I say right, it would be okay. I don't want, it's not like I want to be 100% right with what I say, but just it makes you confused of at what point is things okay and what point is not. Even though you know it's not okay from his part, but when it comes to her part, how she reacts to things and what she wants, it's like, oh, it's okay. So the whole first book is about that. It's about how she feels. It has plot twists. The plot twist is not just about their relationship, it's about people that surround them as well. And in the end, something happened. It's a plot twist, but take it. It doesn't spoil the whole thing. She gets kidnapped. And when she's kidnapped, she's trafficked. She became a sex slave. Well, the force to become that. And the part one of the second book, Hunting Adeline, it's painful. Again, if you're sensitive, do not read that book if you're sensitive, if you know that you feel bad, because I'm sensitive, but I think the author didn't explain, didn't the things were graphic, but it wasn't that graphic with certain things, and that was really cool because it made it but less traumatizing, but it was bad. The first book is her pain, her being forced to do things, is her not seeing the end of the corridor. I cried mostly when it came to a moment that almost gave up. She she was like, a dead body. She didn't feel anything until it comes to a point where it's like, I have to run. She wakes up and she ran, and then what goes to the second part of the book. I don't want to talk about first part because first part is too dark. It's really bad. The first part is just him trying to find her, doing every single thing to find her. And the second part is the healing part. The first one, part one, is the traumatizing part of the book. The second part is the healing part and revenge, because she wakes up and, decide to take revenge against everyone that did every single thing against her, that did every single thing bad to her. It was really good, and he was essential to her healing. I'm not saying like we should give him like a prize or a round of applause for him being patient, but he was patient. And it was so important because it got to a point where it's like I felt that what went through his mind was like with some actions that he did, it was like, I'm giving you your time for you to heal and decide how to do things, but I will force certain things to make you do it, because otherwise you just go down and down and down and down without coming up. So, but he didn't force it like the first book. So it was really good. The healing part, the relationship, how they work with every single thing, and it was satisfying. I think if you would take the part one out, it was the best second book or the last book of a duet or a series or whatever that I ever read, because I again taking the part one aside, because the revenge thing, it was chef kiss. It was amazing. And we have characters like CB that I see her as Zade's sister, and the way she acts gave a little bit of comedy, to the book. It was really good. One thing that I have to say about him, he has a God complex syndrome. Every single thing is God, God, I'm God, 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 God. It was like, I will let it pass because it's a book. But it was too much. He is crazy. He's sadistic, and the whole series has a little bit of BDSM. Uh, and yeah. Oh, about spy scenes, it has a lot. Both books. I think first book has a little bit more, but the second book also have it. It's really cool. Chapter 34 of the first book, Haunting Adeline, the car scene. Before I read this book, I was watching some comments, some people saying stuff, and everyone was talking about the car scene, the car scene, the car scene, and I went to say it. Um, it was something literally interesting to try. No, but literally, because how that worked, I don't know. I don't know how it worked on the author's mind, but it was something that I never thought about. I never in my life thought about no the position, every single thing. It was really cool, and I was gasping and giggling by myself like crazy. So the whole thing is the whole series. To summarize, it's about her being addicted to fear and excited to that fear, and a little bit of being ashamed about it. And it's him wanting her to fall in love with him, and also love to scare her. What makes me a little bit in peace with every single thing that happened, it's because he knew her somehow. Like, he wouldn't do things just based on what he wants. He would do it based on her body language and how she reacts to things. He knew stuff. So that was really cool. If I don't want to give spoilers, because you might like want to read it. But again, if you're sensitive, don't read it. I think just go online and look for it. It's not something that you should do with books, but if you're interested to understand a little bit more, you can look for summary of what happened in the book instead of reading it, because it's really dark, and every single thing is graphic. Violence, trafficking, every single thing is too graphic. It's too much, but it's good. It has a lot of plot twists. It's not the plot twist, like I said before, it's not just about the relationship. It's about other stuffs, other people relationship. Read it. It's really good. Okay. So if you like the video, subscribe to my channel for more book reviews. It's just something that you liked and you would want other people to read, and you would want people to talk about it. any type of genre, and I will give it a try. And stay tuned for more dark romance um, review. There's more to come. I have a few my plan to read it. So yeah, remember, this is not a conventional relationship. It's not something that should bring to the real world. Most of it, but there's some stuff like